are going to do measurement and signature, and hopefully in this video we'll finish these and then we'll be done with targeting. So I think the best thing to do is just get down to it and finish this off. So I'm going to search for this. Okay. FAS is Federation of American Scientists, and we'll see if this makes sense. Okay, Measurement and Signature Intelligence, MassInt. Measurement and Signature Intelligence, MassInt, is a scientific and technical intelligence information obtained by quantitative and qualitative analysis of data, metric, angle, spatial, wavelength, time, dependence, modulation, plasma, and hydromagnetic, derived from specific technical sensors for the purpose of identifying any distinctive features associated with the source, emitter, or sender, and to facilitate subsequent identification and or measurement of the same. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is just I'm taking out that means quantity. Quantity, that's quantity. Quantitative research is a research strategy that focuses on quantifying the collection and analysis of data. It is formed from a deductive approach where emphasis is placed on the testing of theory shaped by empiricist and positivist philosophy. Okay, I'm gonna get first time in ages that I've had to get Mr. Speech to tell me the word.
Empiricist.
Empiricist. Okay. Associated with the natural, applied, formal, and social sciences, this research strategy promotes the objective empirical investigation of observable phenomena to test and understand relationships. So relationship, okay. I shall put that away and then we'll be able to, okay, I will put this away as well. This whole intelligence thing, I love learning about spying and stuff. I write fan fiction as well and it's all about spies and stuff, so I love all this stuff. Sorry, I'm going to have to get Mr. Speechy again.
Qualitative.
Qualitative. Quantitative research relies on data obtained by the researcher from first-hand observation, interviews, questionnaire, focus groups, etc. Oh, so it's kind of like documents and artifacts and things like that. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, I know I'm only looking at the wiki. I don't want to go far too deep into this because I want to make this as I said, I want to make this a separate video because this is really interesting. But we might have to, if we carry on with the Operation Blackout, then we might actually be going back to this stuff anyway. So, where were we? Mass int includes radar intelligence, RAD-int, acoustic intelligence, acoust-int, nuclear intelligence, nu-sint-int, radio frequency electromagnetic pulse intelligence, RF, EM-int, electro-optical intelligence, electro-opt-int. God, they do like making things.
It's 2030.
Thank you. Okay. Involves the. Okay. Electro-optic intelligence involves the acquisition of data from the portion of the electromagnetic spectrum of wavelengths that contains ultraviolet radiation, visible light, and infrared radiation. The term intelligence refers to the use of which the optical spectrum is put. Ultraviolet, visible, and infrared rays can be collected and analyzed for the information they contain. For example, the detection of infrared radiation either via this sounds like what we did before, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay. We'll put that away. Research. Laser intelligence, material intelligence, that hasn't even got an acronym. Laser intelligence has less int. Unintentional radiation intelligence, RINT. Chemical and biological intelligence, CB-int. Directed energy weapon intelligence, DEW-int. Effluent debris collection. Oh, so that's like forensic. Okay. Spectroscopic intelligence. That hasn't even got an acronym. And infrared intelligence. INT. Okay. We have this, and oh, they actually go through some of them. Okay. So data. Well, first, actually, let's go into effluent. No, not that one. Sorry. Spectroscopic intelligence. Robots with artificial intelligence. Site of robot. Are these robotics then? Okay. Electro-optic. Biomedical vibrations. Bloody hell. Okay. Mass in measurements and signature intelligence either to target that are already excited, such as an engine exhaust, or stimulated with a laser or other energy source. It is not an imaging technique, although it can be used to extract greater information from images. Oh, okay. So is it like a... Ooh, I've never been on this site before. I'm going to have to make this a little bit bigger. Okay. Spectroscopic mass int measurements and signature intelligence can be applied either to targets that are already excited, such as engine exhaust, or stimulated with a laser or other energy source. It is not an imaging technique, although it can be used to extract greater information from images. It is an application of the electro-optic mass int discipline, where an imagery intelligence image sensor would take a photo that fills a frame. A spectroscopic mass int sensor gives a list by coordinate of wavelength and energy. Oh, so this is kind of like when you're looking for nuclear weapons and stuff, or some kind of weaponry that is like, okay. Ooh, I like this. Okay. Let me just... I've never been on this site before, so I just want a PDF. And then we'll get back. These are cool to know. Like, I feel like I am learning a lot more about the intelligence stuff now. Like, it's not all James Bond. So thermal infrared JR heat imaging. Where are the hot spots and how does the target look when in operation? Near IR imaging, just past visible light, used by night vision goggles, camouflage detection and use in night operations. Okay. Acoustic signatures. What does the system sound like? Or where is a target such as a sniper? Okay, I'm getting it a little bit more now. Seismic data. How much does the ground shake when the target rolls past? Okay. Imaging radar data. Seeing through smoke, haze, foliage and even water to try to detect and identify a target. Laser imaging and detection. Use of laser imaging systems for target and chemical biological agent detection and classification of emitters. Okay, so that's how they were trying to find the weapons of mass destruction. Okay. Dimensional and feature profiling. deriving measurements on dimensions, weight, capacity, color, etc. to support modeling, simulation, and algorithm development. Okay. Two important distinctions between MassInt and other intelligence systems are the maturity and diversity of the component systems. MassInt technologies are both immature and diverse. The R&D support emphasis that has characterized past MassInt collection and processing is shifting with the fielding of modern weapon systems. Few MassInt systems fielded prior to 1991 used embedded libraries, signatures, or templates to perform autonomous detection, classification, tracking, and engagement functions. This has changed markedly over the past 5 years, with the fielding of new aviation and fire support weapons. Numerous MassInt-based systems are used in roles as varied as intruder detection, strategic missile launch warning, and nuclear weapon testing monitoring. So, I bet that's a lot used in North Korea. Other MassInt-based ATSS currently in development will perform a variety of roles, etc. Non-cooperative recognition and engagement of surface and air targets, active missile detection and countermeasure, fratricide prevention, vehicle survivability, and intelligence gathering operations. Within the Department of Defense, the Defense Intelligence Agency provides central coordination for MassInt collection efforts. Each service, in turn, has a primary command of staff activity to develop requirements and coordinate MassInt efforts. Army responsibility resides with the Intelligence and Security Command in INSCOM. Army weapons systems programs that require MassInt information to support system design or operations submit requests through INSCOM for data collection and processing. MassInt collection and processing is performed primarily by the Scientific and Technical Intelligence (S&TI) community to support research and development (R&D) programs. Every S&TI center has some involvement in MassInt collection or production, which reflects that center's overall mission. National Ground Intelligence Center (NGIC) does work on armored vehicles, artillery, etc. Wow. Service R&D centers such as the Communication Electronics Command, CECOM, Research, Development and Engineering Center, RDEC, Night Vision and Electronic Systems, NVES, Laboratory, are also involved in the collection and processing of MassInt. Until recently, and I think this is an old article, so this is a bit old, but it kind of gives you a thing about it. So Until recently, information wasn't managed centrally. Data was collected against service-specific requirements, often supporting classified development results. As a result, information was hard to find or retrieve at a later date. In 1990, the Army started a mass-in data management effort intended to capture and provide mass-in information in a consolidated manner. This is similar to that available to the SIGINT and ELINT communities in the Electronic Warfare Integrated Reprogramming EWIR, Kilting and Non-Communications Systems Database. Oh wow, you've got so many acronyms. Okay, so we kind of learn what it is on a basic level, and as this is an old article or web page, we kind of got the gist of it. So now we are going to go and have a look and see if we can find something that is a little more up to date. So when was this written? 2016. Okay. It's a short one. Okay. Measurements and signature intelligence, mass-in, is the analysed information collected by different sensors. This type of intelligence is important in detecting, tracking, and identifying targets to determine where they've come from, and more importantly, where they're going. Mass-in works by using sensors to identify the distinctive characteristics of either a fixed or moving target. So we've got radar, radio frequencies, geophysical, nuclear radiation, and electro-optic sensors, and we've gone through that. How does mass-in work? Mass-in uses sensors to identify the distinctive characteristics of fixed, changing, or moving targets. This is important in detecting, identifying, and tracking threats such as missiles, enemy submarines, or aircraft. In the simplest terms, mass-in involves using specially designed sensors to collect and analyze information associated with either a source, emitter, sender, or receiver that isn't collected through other means. Mass-in provides identification, early warning, and tracking capabilities derived from various sensors. This information is utilized to assess impact locations or provide early warning. Does mass-in work? Mass-in is all about collecting the emissions byproduct of devices. It's a collection and analysis of signatures which is used for intelligence collection. Basically, all devices generate unique signatures, whether it's electronic, geospatial, or magnetic, for example, which is then analysed to identify a unique signature. This intelligence discipline incorporates different collection methods, but is intended to provide intelligence about enemy weapons and equipment. For example, mass-in is used to detect and track missiles or enemy submarines in the ocean. Here's an example. Let's say we've identified a radio frequency being used to transmit encrypted communication, While it might not be possible to decipher the communication, massing allows us to collect information related to the transmission rather than the content itself. This is used in a military context for identifying and locating different types of enemy equipment, points of origin or pattern of life. Modern artillery batteries are often equipped with counter-battery radar, which uses massing to identify an enemy artillery position. This radar locates an enemy position based on the signature of the projectile, thus allowing return fire against that position. So that's the counter battery radar right there. And I'm sorry I clicked on it. Now the computer's going to have a little tantrum. Thank you. Okay, that was interesting, short and sweet, and made sense, which is always brilliant, I think. So we are going to finish there because I feel like we've learnt quite a lot now about that, and I am going to switch off. I'll be back in the next segment when we will be doing human source intelligence. So I'll see you then. Bye. We're going to go on to human source intelligence now. So let's have a little look. That's new. Copy link to highlight. Okay. New. Google. Okay. Right. So. What's this? Come on. Come on, you. The human levels of the confidential informant management covers those engaged. Okay. What is this exactly? Training for professionals by professionals. Okay, this is okay. So they've got human training, confidential informant, human source management. Okay. Okay, let's have a read of this then. Confidential informant, human source management, covert human intelligence source, CHIS, human management. HSM training are world leaders when it comes to the delivery of training pertaining to human resources. Resources. I'm thinking of HR. Oh, God. Confidential informants, covert human intelligence sources, CHIS, when it comes to learning about cultivating and utilizing confidential informants, and I'm going to have to make this bigger. I'm so sorry. It might come up a little too big for you on the screen. Sorry about that. Confidential informants, we challenge you to find any other training provider anywhere in the world. Okay. We have both the underpinning theoretical knowledge and the real-world experience to teach your officers how to recruit and manage high-level confidential informants. The behaviour of officers will be changed by the training. Our advanced proactive recruiting course teaches how to recruit confidential human sources involved in organized crime and terrorism. Officers are taught how to target individuals for recruitment using well-established psychological principles. This is the most advanced training available to law enforcement anywhere in the world. Okay, so this is obviously a training thing for like agents and law enforcement and stuff. So as we realize that no customer's needs are exactly the same as of any others, all our courses are bespoke. This ensures that the customer gets the training they need and at a price they can afford. We provide courses relating to all aspects of informant management, from a basic course to get your agency started to the most advanced training of its type available anywhere in the world. Today, depending on the level of course taught, content may include record keeping, motivation, risk management, proactive targeting and heat recruitment, tasking, cognitive debriefing, and fieldcraft. What's fieldcraft? Is that like being a spy? And Google's been a bit slow today. But it might be because I'm running like 8 programs at the same time. Okay. Fieldcraft. Fieldcraft is the tactical skill to operate stealthily and the methods used to do so, which can differ during day or night and due to weather or terrain. The term fieldcraft is not only used in warfare, but also in the filming of wildlife documentaries, for example. Okay, so it's kind of like being on the field, out in the trenches. Okay. I'm going to put this away. Well, actually, I want you to have a gander. Cheeky gander. Come on. The term is used in a broad range of industries including military, oil and gas, wildlife and food and agriculture. In the anti-terrorism field, fieldcraft is defined as the art of evading monitoring by police and the security services. Terror groups such as the one tracked by Operation Guevara were caught despite their own well-developed fieldcraft. The term has been used since at least World War II. For example, Diana Roden, a war hero, was described at the time as very good in fieldcraft and excellent with guns. Field skills include camouflage, land and water navigation, understanding the difference between concealment from view and cover from small arms fire, using the terrain and its features to mask ground movement, obstacle crossing, selecting good firing position, lying up positions, camping positions, effective observation, camouflage penetration, counter surveillance, detecting enemy fire, directionality and range, survival, evasion and escape techniques. Good fieldcraft is especially important for the effectiveness and survival of infantry soldiers, snipers, special forces, reconnaissance and sabotage teams. Efficient fieldcraft is only possible by spending time, effort and attention to memorizing battlefield details, infiltration and escape routes, construction and employment of hiding positions, enemy force doctrines and equipment. Okay. That seems like one that I'll probably do more on in another video series, because that's quite interesting. Okay. Put that away as well. Okay. All courses have varying degrees of content relating to psychology of human source management, and all contain role-play exercises. Advanced courses focus on the psychology of informant management, a topic most other courses fail to address. As many of the leading agencies are now selecting officers who are permitted to undertake the difficult and dangerous role of managing confidential informants, human sources, our courses can contain as an assessment element to test student aptitude for the role. Here is an example of one of the courses we provide for officers new to managing confidential informants' human sources. So, confidential informant management course entry level. Confidential informant management is a high-risk area of law enforcement, but one that is essential for a law enforcement agency to undertake if it is going to be successful in combating high-volume crime, organized crime and terrorism. Confidential informants are often referred to as informers, human intelligence sources, and numerous other more derogatory terms. It is now widely recognized that the managing confidential informants is an arduous and high-risk activity, with officers involved in this business area requiring extensive training and high levels of supervision. This course seeks to provide officers involved in managing confidential informants with the basic skills to manage a confidential informant in compliance with legislation and recognized international good practice. The course will include both theoretical aspects of the role together with practical role plays to demonstrate an officer's ability to carry out the functions required. Course aim. The aim of the course is to introduce participants to the basic requirements of managing confidential informant in a law enforcement context. Course learning objectives. At the end of the course, Participants will be able to describe the function of confidential informants within the context of intelligence-led policing, state the definition of a confidential informant, and identify 3 operational types of confidential informant. Detail the records that need to be maintained for effective confidential informant management. Explain the basic elements of how to motivate and control a confidential informant. Sorry about that. I was told the time. Carry out a standard meeting with a confidential informant. Training methods. Interactive lectures, PowerPoint presentations, exercises, and student role plays. So you get, I won't read it, so get 5 days. They do 20 in a class, and they get the materials, and then day 1, defining human sources in the context of intelligence-led policing, communication skills, and then so that was quite interesting. Let's see what they say about unit training. Okay. HUMIT training. The collection of accurate, timely intelligence is key to protecting national security and in the war on terror. Knowledge of the activities of foreign intelligence actors and their whereabouts can assist in defeating their political objectives. Infiltration of terrorist groups helps identify and mitigate terrorist threats, and putting in place effective measures can combat the threat. I think that's meant to be threat of industrial espionage. A key element in the success of intelligence collection is HUMIT, and an agency's liability. This person cannot spell. Lies ability to recruit and manage human intelligence sources. Right, so they're saying training is delivered on a worldwide basis and is the most advanced training of its kind available. Training programs vary in duration, modular based, and each training course is designed to liaison with the client so that it meets their specific needs, and how much it costs. Right, so when they're doing the course, it involves the psychology of human sourcing recruitment. We literally wrote a book on this, and much of the content is not available elsewhere. Okay, interpersonal skills. Our courses help people improve their interpersonal skills in building rapport and in persuasion techniques. Proactive recruitment, psychological targeting of potential sources, motives and motivation, advanced interviewing skills, research-based techniques designed to maximize the quality and quantity of information obtained, conflict management, yeah, I get it. What are conflict management skills and how can they help you at work? Strong conflict management skills are an advantage in most positions as conflict is virtually impossible to avoid. It is human nature to disagree, and disagreements are healthy when approached correctly. Eliminating conflict entirely will cause its own problems. There would be no diversity of opinion and no way for us to catch and correct flawed plans and policies. I want to say something, but I'm not going to say it just because I don't want this video to be caught out by YouTube. But that's kind of happening now anyway. Okay, anyway. Especially on social media. What is conflict management? Conflict management, also known as conflict resolution, involves having a workplace that precludes conflict and a management team that successfully handles and resolves workplace issues. What are conflict management skills? The aim for professionals in the workplace should not be to avoid conflict, but to resolve it in an effective manner. Employees with strong conflict resolution skills are able to effectively handle workplace issues. Tip: and individuals who handle conflict in a respectful, optimistic way create the chance for growth and learning within an organisation. Wink, wink. Communicating clearly, empathetically, and patiently leads to favourable outcomes and keeps professional relationships strong. Why employers value conflict management skills. Poor communication or interpersonal tension can easily cause simple disagreements to flare up into resentment or worse. Conflicts that are allowed to fester and grow will ultimately diminish productivity and damage staff morale. This is why employers seek employees with the skill to manage and diffuse conflict. Types of conflict management skills. Communication. Much unnecessary conflict can be avoided simply with clear, accurate written and verbal communication. A single lost email could lead to failed plans and with fingers pointed. Assumptions about what other people already know, think, or intend can cause resentment or worse. Some people argue just because they want to feel heard. Simply being a good listener can be enough to inspire trust and resolve hurt feelings. Examples of good communication skills include quickly addressing problems, understanding reluctant participants, formalizing agreements, active listening, leadership, mediating, meeting with parties, modeling reasonable dialogue, negotiating, non-verbal communication, open dialogue, suppressing conflict, provoking behaviors, teaching positive behaviors, written communication. Emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand your own feelings and those of others, and to handle those feelings well. People who have a high emotional intelligence are good at identifying and meeting the needs of others while taking responsibility for their own needs and feelings. A few ways they do this are being adaptable, being analytical, asserting feelings, compromising, showing curiosity, forgiving transgressions, helping others, identifying triggers, recognizing improvements, setting ground rules, showing respect, modifying behavior, being motivated, being optimistic, being self-aware, displaying self-regulation. Okay, and when I say self-regulation, I mean your emotions. So this is because I've been to a well-being course for therapy, and we talked a lot about self-regulation. So that's like taking hold of your emotions and understanding your emotions and understanding why you are having them emotions. Empathy. Empathy means feeling what others feel. The ability to see a situation from someone else's viewpoint and to understand their needs, motivations, and possible misunderstandings in critical and effective conflict management. Some people are naturally more empathetic than others, but empathy can be developed. At its most useful, empathy is augmented by an intellectual understanding of another's situation. Since emotional empathy alone can sometimes create complicated scenarios, empathy is best applied in a work environment when paired with critical thinking, emotional intelligence, and other types of discernment. Hallmarks of empathy include accountability, asking for feedback, building trust, showing compassion, embracing diversity and inclusion, giving constructive feedback, handling difficult people, managing emotions, high emotional intelligence, identifying non-verbal cues, recognizing differences, understanding different viewpoints, good interpersonal skills, ability to recognize problems, good self-control, ability to embrace different opinions. Creative problem solving, understanding and communication are all very well and good, but do not help much if you don't have a solution for the underlying problem, whatever that problem may be. Conflict often happens because no one can come up with a workable solution, so resolving the conflict depends on creating a solution. That makes problem solving an in-demand skill for employees. Examples of problem solving conflicts in workplace include conflict analysis, brainstorming solutions, collaborating, verbal communication, convening meetings, creativity, decision making, designating sanctions, non-verbal communication, problem solving, sense of humor, goal integration, monitoring compliance, configuring relationships, fair resolutions. More conflict management skills. Here are additional conflict management skills for resumes, cover letters, and such. Okay. Apologizing, avoiding punishing, being present, calmness, impartiality, intuitiveness, ability to let it go, patience, positivity, ability to prioritize relationships, respecting differences, separating yourself, stress management, ability to take criticism. Okay. That was quite good, so I'm gonna put that away. I think that actually kind of just hit the nail on the head. And we've got the Wikipedia page as well. So let's see what they've put. Conflict, group outcomes. Okay, I'll put that away. Hold on. And I'll put that away. Okay, detecting. Oh, I'm on the end anyway, so I could actually look up that one. There we go. Okay, they had some techniques, and I was like, ooh. Okay, Kuhn and Paul model. Kuhn and Paul 2000 established a similar system of group conflict management in their system. They split Kozan's confrontational model into two sub-models. Distributive and integrative. Distributive. Here conflict is approached as a distribution of a fixed amount of positive outcomes or resources, which one side will end up winning and the other losing, even if they do win some concessions. Integrative. Groups utilizing the integrative model see conflict as a chance to integrate the needs and concerns of both groups and make the best outcome possible. This model has a heavier emphasis on compromise than the distributive model. Kern and Paul found that the integrative model resulted in consistently better task-related outcomes than those using the disruptive model. Okay. The Church and Marx meta-taxonomy. The Church and Marx examined the literature available on conflict management at the time, and Nye established what they claimed was a meta-taxonomy that encompasses all other models. They argued that all other styles have inherent in them into two dimensions. Activeness, the content to which conflict behaviors make a responsive and direct rather than insert an indirect impression. High activeness is characterized by open discussing differences of opinion while fully going after their own interest. Agreeableness, something I'm brilliant at because I don't like conflict. The extent to which conflict behaviors make a pleasant and relaxed rather than unpleasant and strainful impression. High agreeableness is characterized by attempting to satisfy all parties involved. In the study the Church and Marx conducted to validate this division, activeness did not have a significant effect on the effectiveness of conflict resolution, but the agreeableness of the conflict management style, whatever it was, did have a positive impact on how the group felt about the way the conflict was managed, regardless of the outcome. Raime's meta model. Raime, 2002, noted that there is agreement among management scholars that there is no one best approach to how to make decisions, lead, or manage conflict. In a similar vein, rather than creating a very specific model of conflict management, Raime created a meta model in much the same way that the Church and Marx 2001 created a meta-taxonomy for conflict styles based on two dimensions, concern for self and concern for others. Within this framework are 5 management approaches: integrating, obliging, dominating, avoiding, and compromising. Now, if I had to be truthful and say what mine would be avoiding and compromising. Integration involves openness, exchanging information, looking for alternatives, and examining differences to resolve the problem in a manner that is acceptable to both parties. Obliging is associated with attempting to minimize the differences and highlight the commonalities to satisfy the concern of the other party. Dominating. In this style, one party goes all out to win his or her objective, and as a result, often ignores the needs and expectations of the other party. Avoiding. Here, a party fails to satisfy his or her own concern as well as the concern of the other party. Compromising. Compromising involves give and take, whereby both parties give up something to make a mutually acceptable decision. Okay. I thought that was interesting, so I shall put that away. And we will detecting deception, clandestine methods of meeting. So that's like trying, like the old spy films, where it's like I'll meet you in a cafe at like 2:00. And they're like wearing a trench coat and stuff. Defensive surveillance techniques. So I'm taking it that's like making sure that it happens and nothing goes wrong. And cover stories. James Bond or someone else like that. Elicitation. I don't know what that means. That is a new word. Like new words. To call forth, draw out, or provoke a response or reaction. For example, interrogators were repeatedly frustrated by the ability to elicit useful information from him. Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense. I shall put that away as well. Drawing out or bringing forth emotions, opinions, facts, etc. The first step in decision analysis is the elicitation of the decision maker's preferences. Okay. Cambridge Dictionary. Okay. The process of getting or producing something. Thank you, Cambridge. Come on. Especially information or a reaction. We discussed the elicitation of confession in murder investigations. He was charged with fraudulent elicitation of sensitive information. Okay. Okay. Put that away as well. Ooh. 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 Okay. Okay, I've downloaded it. Let's open it. Ooh. Okay. To find the strategic use of conversation to extract information from people without giving them the feeling they are being interrogated. Alliteration attempts can be simple and sometimes are obvious. If they are obvious, it is easier to detect and deflect. On the other hand, alliteration may be imaginative, persistent, involving extensive planning, and may employ a co-conspirator. Eliciators may use a cover story to account for their conversation topic and why they ask certain questions. Eliciators may collect information about you or your colleagues that can facilitate future targeting attempts. Elicitation can occur anywhere. At social gatherings, at conferences, over the phone, on the street, on the internet, or in someone's home. Why elicitation works. A desire to be polite and helpful even to strangers or new acquaintances. A trained eliciator understands certain human or cultural predispositions and uses techniques to exploit those natural tendencies an eliciator may try to exploit include a desire to be polite and helpful even to strangers and or new acquaintances, a desire to appear well informed, especially about our profession, a desire to feel appreciated and believe we are contributing to something important, a tendency to expand on a topic when given praise or encouragement to show off, a tendency to gossip, a tendency to correct others, a tendency to underestimate the values of the information being sought or given, especially if we are unfamiliar with how else that information could be used, a tendency to believe others are honest, a disinclination to be suspicious of others, a tendency to answer truthfully when asked an honest question, a desire to convert someone to our opinion. Ooh. For example, you may meet someone at a public function and a natural getting to know you question eventually turn to your work. You never mention the name of your organisation. Sorry about that. The new person asks questions about job satisfaction at your company, perhaps while complaining about his job. You may think he has no idea where I work or what I really do. He's just making idle chat. There's no harm in answering. However, he may know exactly what you do, but he relies on his animosity. Oh God, I'm gonna have to use Mr. Speech. Oh no. Anonymity. Oh, anonymous. Your desire to be honest and appear knowledgeable, and your disinclination to be suspicious to get the information he wants. He may be hunting for a disgruntled employee who he can entice to give him insider information. Ooh, right, I'll put this away, and I will definitely put most of these into the PDF in the filing cabinet below. But that was a good, actually, little thing there. So, thank you, FBI, for saving the day. Okay, so we've done this. I will be back in the next segment of this video, and I will speak to you then. Bye.